Next, I'd like to introduce our Congressman, Peter Roskam.
Thank you. Well, I'm a little bit of an import today. I'm a transplant from DuPage County and represent northwest suburban Cook County. And I want to bring special greetings of encouragement from my colleague, Congressman Mark Kirk, who's very much enthusiastic about Mark's joining the Republican Party. You know, I was on an elevator this week in Washington, D.C. right after I got a text message from one of my staff members, and I thought they were joking. And the text said, "They've arrested Rod." And I basically texted back, "Dude," you know what I mean? It's like, but then, you go in and you have members of Congress that are coming up to you just slack-jawed, saying, "What's going on in your state?" And actually, the guys from Vegas and New Jersey are getting a little jealous because Illinois is eclipsing their place in the sun. But I think what I appreciate about Mark is, as Jim Ryan just said, this is a guy who's leaning into the wind, right? This is not all upside every second for Mark. And what our country is hungry for and what our state desperately needs is leaders who are motivated by the right things. And I think what I've come to know about Mark is that this is a guy that's willing to put it on the line, and he doesn't mess around, and he has the gift of clarity. And I think that we are at a time in our public life where things are changing. You know, there is a difference between Republicans and Democrats. When Republicans ended up with a corrupt governor, and we did with George Ryan, the base of the Republican Party essentially went to George Ryan and said, if you run and seek nomination, you're going to lose because we're going to nominate the Eagle Scout. Where is he? There he is. We're going to nominate Jim Ryan. If you run governor, you're going to lose. We're going to nominate Jim Ryan. And ultimately what happened? George Ryan didn't seek that nomination because Jim would have beat him. What happened to the Democrats in this last election cycle when they knew they had a mess on their hands with this governor? This is not a revelation. This is not news. This is not a big breakthrough. What did they do? They circled the wagons. And go back and look at the quotes. Go back and look at the people who were the chairman of his campaign committee. Go back and look at the people that were campaigning arm in arm with Rod Blagojevich just 2 years ago, pumping sunshine all over the state of Illinois and acting like they didn't have a problem with this guy. And now all of a sudden, he's, Eddie Haskell, and nobody wants to talk to him anymore? And they can't be quick enough. Yeah, right now they claim mental incapacity. Nonsense. So Mark comes along, and he looks at this adventure that has created this dysfunction within Illinois. And it is a dysfunction that is born of a one-party system where there is zero accountability. And what I appreciate about Mark is his willingness to step forward, to put it all on the line and say, look, I'm joining the Republicans. And he's joining the Republicans at a time when there's a great deal of hope within the Republican Party. And I think that this is going to be, if you look at some of the races that have been won across the country within the past couple of weeks, a Vietnamese refugee who wins a seat in Louisiana, throwing out a man who's been accused of corruption down in Louisiana. There is a whole host of these things that are happening and are on the line. And so to Mark Curran and to others across the state and across the country who feel that itch and know that this is actually where they belong, the shop is open, and come on in, because we are really anxious to have this type of leader and this type of gift of vision among our ranks. So Mark, welcome.